everyone, this is Kit Cabela with Hardlens Media, and this is Perspective. So, I'm going to talk about Joe Biden. Now, I know, look, everyone's kind of tired of us talking about Joe Biden and Trump, but look, we got a general election, and we have to talk about it because sooner or later, the debates are going to be here, and we're going to have to sit through them, we're going to have to deal with them, and we're going to have to see two crazy old men argue back and forth. But from what I hear from the vote blue no matter who people, from the die-hard Biden supporters, is that Joe Biden's the guy that's going to beat Trump. There's nothing wrong with Joe Biden. That, he can handle anything. This is the guy that's going to return the soul back to America. Okay, well, just a quick reminder. Joe Biden clearly has some signs of dementia. He has made a lot of gas. And there's a treasure trove of videos that Trump and his campaign can use against Joe Biden. Because again, perception drives reality. And like we covered on yesterday's show, Joe Biden's campaign is just now, trying to build an online presence to reach out to independents and progressives. Well, times have changed. It's not the 1990s anymore. You just can't run traditional media or have some fun, lovable videos that show Joe Biden being relatable, because it's not going to work, because there are so many videos out there. So many videos out there that show Joe Biden as a horrible human being on the wrong side of history. We've said before that he has never apologized for the crime bill that Bill Clinton signed. He never apologized for him standing with the credit card corporations in 2005. This is the guy who voted for the war in Iraq. Joe Biden, let's just face it, when the debates happen, there's a good chance he's going to get slaughtered by Trump. But who knows? Maybe it's 50-50. We're going to see two crazy old guys going back and forth against each other, and Americans are once again left with the lowest common denominator. But now this video has surfaced, and good luck, Biden campaign. Good luck, Joe Biden, in regards to reaching out to progressives and independents, because when more people see this video, and it's going to be shared on social media, a lot of people, well, are probably going to walk away from your campaign. So good luck in reaching out to progressives. Check this video out where Joe Biden defends his stance on being against busing and desegregation.
We keep talking about this thing as being north versus south. That's not the issue. It is rural versus urban. And most of the busing that's taken place to date has taken place in rural areas, whether it's be administratively ordered or court ordered. Now we're moving into applying the same standards to urban areas. And it is a standard that doesn't make sense. It doesn't apply. It doesn't hold. We're moving from trying to, in urban areas, we've had integrated facilities but segregated neighborhoods. And in rural areas, we've traditionally had integrated neighborhoods but segregated facilities. And they've applied the same standard and the same test. So this north-south thing is not really the issue. As Professor Nathan Glazer at Harvard has indicated, as Dr. Armour of the RAND Corporation, as James Coleman, as I just held 3 days of hearing, two days of hearings in the Judiciary Committee on another bill I have, beyond this, that deals with busing. And there is uniform opinion of those who testified that it is not a north-south, it's an urban-rural question, a distinction.
But no matter what your intent, there are going to be those who say it's a segregated thing, it's a question of race, and that you have set back the movement of desegregation of schools. How would you answer that?
The way I answer that is I predict that the young black leadership of America will overwhelmingly decide with me. I predict that in 1980 and 84, my position will be totally vindicated by the sociologists and by the civil rights advocates. I come from that side of the track. That's where I'm from. I was a defense lawyer. I handled civil rights cases. I sat in on Route 40. I mean, I'm not from the other side of this. And I happen to think that the one way to ensure that you set the civil rights movement in America further back is to continue to push busing, because it's a bankrupt policy. And that's why I think I'll be vindicated. I don't include myself with pro or anti-busing forces. I think the only group that can determine whether or not a constitutional violation exists is the federal courts of the United States of America. No one else has that right. Secondly, a federal court of the United States of America determining a violation of the Constitution with regard to school desegregation cases must find that there is a specific intent to segregate before they can order busing. That I abide by. That I
Okay, so there you have it. That's Joe Biden. I will say one thing, as horrible as his statements were, he was able to make a complete sentence. I didn't hear a stutter. I don't know, I've always been told, at least by the Biden campaign, that he has a stutter, but he didn't stutter once during that entire press conference. But that was a young Joe Biden with coherent thoughts, being on the wrong side of history, being a horrible human being. Now look, everyone can say, well, Trump's just as bad. Look, I get it. All right, I hear that time and time again. Trump is a horrible person. Trump's a horrible person. All right. Joe Biden's not a saint. And Joe Biden has a longer career in U.S. politics than Donald Trump. Donald Trump, whether he is in for 4 years or 8, Biden's been in longer in U.S. politics than President Donald Trump. And Biden has always been on the wrong side of history. And I don't see him apologizing for this, and I could see this video being used by Donald Trump and his campaign, or maybe a super PAC that is in support of Donald Trump, something like that. But this is the Democratic nominee. Well done, Democrats. Good job, Barack Obama. Good luck. Because, again, I don't see a lot of independents and progressives following Joe Biden. So this is where, again, what's the solution? Well, obviously, this general election, it's not going to go the way a lot of people want it to go, and Biden's the nominee. So what do? We got to collectively organize and strike. We got to work on changing the way we want to run elections in this country. We got to make sure we have election integrity, get money out of politics, and yes, even talk about really supporting third parties. I understand that a lot of people don't want Donald Trump to come to office. But the other side of the coin is this too. Biden has a horrible record, and let's say he is in office. What will his administration do? Will they only give half measures? Probably. And no one's going to acknowledge, at least the corporate media and the establishment, they're not going to acknowledge the fact that Joe Biden is a flawed human being, and this entire general election is going to be despised by the American people. But this is why we're here. This is why independent media exists. Because we have to show the world that, look, all these politicians, they're human beings, and they don't deserve to be hero worshipped. We need to be critical of them and look at their entire history. Because if we don't, well, how do you think we got Trump in the first place? This is Kit Cabell with Hard Lens Media. Peace, everyone.